get the let's get married and have children and make a beautiful family hype. I just want to be a rock star. Fuck. You can either just hate your life or you could be like, this is my life for a little while. You know? Anyone who always wants, this is going to sound harsh, but just hear me out. Because I have friends who every single inconvenience, they just want to be over already. And I'm like, okay, but if you tried to speed run every single thing that ever happened that was not convenient, do you know how little life you would have? Your life would be over so quickly. Your life would be over if you were like, I just want to get out of this conversation. I just want to get out of this. I just want to get out of this line. I just want to get out of this airport. I just want to. And you're missing your entire life. You know? Oh, I just want to get out of this conversation. What if they about to say something dope? You know what I mean? What if they're about to say something very cool? What if they're about to say, wow, you're such a good listener. Almost nobody listens to my stories. You want to chill at my vacation house? What if that was just what happened? And now you can cut the thing short just because they were going on and on about whales. This is your life. You know? All of it is precious, even the inconvenient parts. Because that's the thing. That's all they can really sell you. They can sell you a little less inconvenience. They can't sell you ending your pain. They cannot sell you ending your loneliness. All the things that matter, all the real things that are real struggles that people go through that actually end up making them very interesting people that you want to get to know and spend time with. None of these tech people can cure that anyway. So then they're trying to sell you the little bit of convenience that maybe will make you feel like, if I got all this time back. What does time back even mean? What does time back really mean? If you were at your home washing dishes, nobody likes washing dishes. I don't know if anybody likes washing dishes. It's old food. It's kind of nasty. You're like, what did I even have? What did I eat that sticks to the bowl like this? Because whatever that is in me. Is it sticking to me the way it's sticking to the bowl? That's crazy. I don't know if I ever get rid of this. If I can't get rid of the stain, then my insides are stained right now. Sure. But I think it is such an important practice to appreciate all of these moments in your life. So often we're trying to be distracted from the thing that if we focus on, we might enjoy. Because I'm not saying all of a sudden you'll love washing the dishes, but I think while you're washing the dishes and while you're sitting there maybe thinking about your day, maybe thinking about nothing, maybe thinking about the dishes, you could come potentially to an appreciation of the fact that you have a home. You have a home where you can cook your meals. You have dishes that you can use to serve your family, food that you worked for, that maybe something good can come of it, you know? You can either just hate your life, or you could be like, this is my life for a little while.
I just got punched in the face by a bouncer at Ultraviolet Toronto. Wish I was kidding.
It's the new Alright, this is going to sound real stupid to people out there who are well-adjusted, but I'm not. So, 2 months into my 6 months of no dating experiment, and the thought has dawned on me that dating is just a thing you can do. Like, you can learn a new hobby, you can invest in your career, you can invest in your health, or you can go on dates. And it's not a thing you have to do. It's not an essential cornerstone of a functioning life. It's just a nice thing to do. And there's all kinds of nice things you can do. So like, sure, you can go on a date with a cool person and get to know them, or you can watch a cool movie, or like go on a nice little walk. This is groundbreaking stuff to me. I'd never considered this. I just assumed, you go to work, you make your money because you got it. You care about your health to some extent because you got it. And then you date because you got it. And then if you have time left over, you can discover who you are as a person or something like that. I do miss dating. I'm still a fiend, but it's really striking me how much time I have in my hands and how much autonomy I have, which is crazy. You'd think a guy living alone with a job and is single, a white straight male in the United States of America, you'd think he would feel like he has a lot of autonomy, but really everything I was doing was structured around going on dates and planning my week around that and being on dating apps, texting people all day long, trying to maintain people's attention. When I could have just been living life this whole time. Alright, this is going to sound real stupid to people out there who...
Akash Singh does not have the same pull to be able to survive his own wife talking smack and crazy about him in a negative way on podcasts and on social media. Because you guys remember it happened a few months ago where Steve Curry's wife was talking crazy on podcasts about him being disrespectful, and then she stopped, and then he's popular enough and he's an athlete. He survived it. He can survive it. Akash is a comedian of dubious quality, really. And he cannot survive this because his own wife, I don't know if they're newly married because I just started seeing his videos, but his own wife is on social media and she is talking pretty crazy about her, reminiscing about all the guys that she used to be with in college and other stuff too, and talking about another woman's husband on the podcast and how fine he is to her on the podcast. And the only reason I know this is because Akash went on a podcast with Fresh and Fit, like Myron, and he started talking so much smack to them about like how he respects women, understands women because he's married, right? And of course, Fresh and Fit, they have, in my opinion, terrible stances on women. But still, he took this high road, I'm on this high horse because he is married. And then he went on other podcasts saying how like his wife told him that he's her first, and vice versa. Basically, they're each other's first. Well, Myron on his next video on his next podcast pulled up that and then pulled up clips of the wife going online on podcasts and videos and talking about how she's reminiscent about all the crazy shenanigans she used to get up in college and how she reminisces about men she used to be with. And then again, the infamous podcast clip of her talking to this lady about her own husband, how good he looks and how attractive he is and how, yeah, very disrespectful stuff. And Kosh is he's not gonna survive this. Every video that he puts out now, the comment section is bathed in people telling him to leave her, or at least talk to her. I'm not one to get into that relationship, but what I'm going to say is that, for one, it's obvious she lied to you. If you were being honest about that and serious, it's obvious that she lied to you. So whatever that, you take that as the way you want to take it. But at the end of the day, she should not be, in my opinion, definitely talking like that on podcasts, in social media, and all that stuff, because it's extremely disrespectful to her husband. That's the way I would take it. But I mean, I don't know if he'll survive this or not. We'll see. Akash Singh does not have the same pull to be able to survive his own wife talking.
So I'm going to demonstrate what it's like to have a conversation with a contrarian. What time is it? Oh, it's 6. It's not 6. It's 5:59.
Okay, hear me out. That's not being a contrarian. It's being thorough. Like, I'm sorry that society has normalized this, but if I ask you what time it is, can you please tell me what time it is and not what time it's close to? Obviously, that's an extreme example of it being like 5:59. But like sometimes like it'll be like 5:53 and they'll be like, it's 6. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 6? And I'll see it's 5. Like sometimes I have to do something like at a very specific time. Like for example, just say I'm like, okay, I'm gonna post a TikTok at 6, right? And then I'm like, okay, do I have enough time to like record one real quick? And then someone says it's 6. Oh no, I'm rushing. I'm rushing to do it, right? But if they told me like, oh, it's 5:53. Oh yeah, I get a couple done right now. Like, why can't you just? Why are you acting like it's so hard just to tell you what time it is, bro? Like, why are we lying to each other? What's the point of that? Do you think that makes it easier for me? No. Like, I know what time 5:57 is if I need it. Like, do you think I can't understand? Like, do you think I'm asking you what time it is, and you're like, Bryce, it's 5:57. I'm gonna be like, wait. So it's close to 6. No, like I just know what time it is. Like why are we acting like people are being so difficult when they just want to know the accurate time? And you understand when you do that, you're just doing more work. Like you're literally looking at the clock and you're like, okay, that's what time it is. You know what time it's not though, but it's almost. And then you just do that. Like why not just like, okay, this is the time. Boom. It's easy. It's so much easier for both of us. We know exactly what time it is. Like why are you in your head making up a hypothetical scenario of me asking, hey, what time is it the closest to right now? What the major times is? Like, which whole number is it the closest to? No. Like, it's so frustrating, bro. And people, again, contrarian, people act like that's being difficult. No, tell me what time it is. Again, it's easier for the both, but just, hey, here's the clock. Oh, let me check my phone. Oh, it's this time? It's this time. No, but you gotta be like, oh, it's this time, which is close to this time. Like, it's not kindergarten, bro. It's not Blue's Clues. Hey, you know what time it's close to right now? No, I just want to know what time it is, bro. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of all of you.
So I'm going to demonstrate what it's like to have a conversation with a contrarian. What time is it? Oh, it's 6. It's not 6. It's 5:59.
Okay, hear me out. That's not being a contrarian. It's being thorough. Like, I'm sorry that society has normalized this, but if I ask you what time it is, can you please tell me what time it is and not what time it's close to? Like, obviously, that's an extreme example of it being like 5:59. But like sometimes, like it'll be like 5:53, and they'll be like it's 6, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 6, and I'll see it's 5. Like sometimes. What the fuck did I just get blown up with? A rocket launcher, bruh? Bro, what is this? Bro, what is this? Bro, what is this grenade launcher shit, dog? Yeah, whatever, bro. Whatever. Yeah, whatever. What is this grenade launching shit? Yo, if I get killed with this grenade launcher, bro, yo, I swear to God. Bro, yo, this guy with the grenade launcher. Yo! What the fuck ever? I'm gonna die to this game. They don't make what they make less than what we made on Mad, which was the lowest that you can make.
What'd you make?
In the beginning,
Yeah.
$4,000 an episode.
Yeah. What'd you end up at? I'm curious. I'm genuine. I'm also genuinely.
Can I ask you a question first?
Yeah.
What'd you end up at?
15.
Great.
What'd you end up at?
20.
My life.
You ended up at 20.
I ended up at 15. And maybe
You ended up at 20.
Said you're done.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Yeah. Even though when I went beyond the contract, they're like,
What
they're
did you
not
end up?
going.
Bobby, what are you doing? What are you doing, Bobby?
You ended up at 15.
Yeah. Me and Michael got 20. I'm talking about Michael. Does it burn? My little creature. Yeah, right, it does. My little broken creature. Are you sad? Little
I mean, just numbers.
Yeah, they're just numbers, sir. Yeah. I don't know
Comparison.
why.
They're just numbers.
I don't know why they just my agents did it. I don't know. I didn't ask for it.
Really?
Well, I remember there was a point in time where they didn't even.
You didn't even have to try.
Bobby, stop. Bobby. I mean. So I told y'all I was going to make another one of these videos tonight. It's dark now, and my.
This holiday.
See, I appreciate this comment because ultimately I was really like glazing out. I can't lie because I was just in amazement the whole time about what he's able to do in the game of basketball because I love the game of basketball with my whole heart. It's been my passion since I was a little kid, and I wanted to play it for my entire life. And unfortunately, the game hasn't loved me back the same way, but it's been really amazing to have the experiences that I've had in basketball. And yeah, I mean, so that's us right here. Like this is in like the little treatment in the training room after we got in the ice tub, and yeah, he didn't make no kind of issue about it. Like I know some stuff like this probably gets annoying to some degree for him, but yeah, I mean, he was really cool, man. And it was just insane to be on the same court as somebody that's done as much as he has in the game. and just someone that's able to play and do the things he's done. Because as a kid, you know, your dream is always to play in the NBA. And even though I've gotten kind of closer throughout my life, you know, from high school, and then I did play 5 years of Division I basketball. I only played 1 year at the Power 5 levels when I was in Nebraska, but I was never a very prominent player. I was never somebody that got national recognition. You weren't going to see me in any of like the game day group previews on, you know, whatever channel you're watching, like Fox or CBS or on ESPN or something. But I've kind of just slowly like incremented my way up over the years, just building as a role player. And so even being now in the G League, you know, I've got teammates that are in the NBA. And like, for instance, we have one of my teammates is Tajon. He was like the number 6 overall pick for the Hornets last year. And like every time I'm in practice with him, I'm just kind of like, damn, like this is someone that was literally a number 6 overall pick. This is someone that walked the stage and shook David Stern's hand. Like that is it's just nuts to me. And then it's, you know, I got to practice against LaMelo Ball. And this is somebody that gives dudes in the, like, NBA primary defenders. He gives them problems. And it's like, and I got even though it was just a 20-minute scrimmage, I was just like, damn, like, that's crazy. And, you know, I still believe in some weird niche role I could, you know, maybe find my way onto an NBA court one day. But, you know, as you get older, you know, I've had a bunch of surgeries. I've had a bunch of injuries over the years. It's just, even though I've gotten closer, it's gotten further away. And I feel like until you've really gotten close to making the level that you want to go to, you don't really understand just how drastically far away it is, and just how much goes into hoping that you can be in the right position at the
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. Way. Yes, there were times I'm sure I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I stay, not in a shop. What has he got?
See, I appreciate this comment. My one question for billionaires would be, see, I appreciate this comment. Just playing against them live, so G League and, you know, with our team, it's just really cool to have moments like this when you kind of get to, you know, you get to peek through the blinds a little bit about that other world, and kind of live vicariously through them. Even though I'm not his actual teammate and I haven't, you know, played in the NBA game, it was just so cool to get the NBA experience, so to say, just playing against him live. So that was kind of why I made that other video. And I try to do my best to keep it mostly neutral and just like try to give other people a peer into how it was. But yeah, I can't lie, bro. I was just in amazement the whole time. See, I appreciate this. My one question for billionaires would be, well, what are you still doing? Like, genuinely, what are you still doing? If I had that much money, I'd be effing off on an island that I own in the middle of nowhere, because I just want to be alone and not have to work. If I had $1 billion put in my bank account tomorrow, not a single one of my family or friends is ever working another day in their entire life. Because, like, what's the point? Like, why do you want to control people and, like, make deals with the politicians if you're that rich? Like, it's not clocking in my head. Like, why do you even care? You have enough money to do whatever you want for the rest of your life. My one question for billionaires would be, well, what are you still doing? Like, genuinely, what are you still doing? If I had that much money, I'd be effing off on an island that I own in the middle of nowhere, because I just want to be alone and not have to work. I just had to let you know you're
at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Looks like Sparky.
After I came out, somebody reached out to me and they're like, how come you didn't come out to me earlier when you were still Catholic? And it's like, because I listened to everything that you had to say about gay people when I was in the room. When you were talking about the people out there, we were talking about the disgusting people in culture, or the people that are broken that experience these attractions. I was listening that whole time, and that's exactly why I did not come out to you. So through all of these conversations, I just want you, even if you think being gay is wrong, to remember that there are people in your life, that there are people in the very room listening to this video with you. When you talk about these things at the bus, or in the pews, or at youth group, there are people in the room listening to you that you are friends with, trying to figure out if you're somebody that they can come out to. After I came out, somebody reached out to me and they're like, how come you didn't come out?
I think I finally got the big mirror.
My birthday Sunday, man. Hey, you know what I want.
Dig.
You shot that motherfucker?
Niggas on me.
My third he's like, ooh, niggas just on my balls. Just get the balls. Get the balls. Like, all the fucking
Guys.
X. Get the fuck out of here. Go back.
Damn, it's me. I gotta throw it back.
Sweet. Please put this shit. This whole game.
Look at his face, happy as fuck. Oh, dude.
Hey, you know what I want.
Dig.
You shot that
The
motherfucker?
niggas on me. Rebound.
Yeah.
Up. Love. My third he's like, ooh, niggas just on my balls. Just get the balls. Get the balls. Like,
I was reading my Bible on the way here. Anybody else? You ever wonder why Jesus wouldn't just tell the Romans he wasn't God? What a weird hill to die on. Anyway, I was just reading my Greek mythology textbook on the way here. Anybody else? You ever wonder why Achilles wouldn't just wear armor down there? What a weird hill to die on. One of my exes broke up with me while she was on her period. Talking about getting left on red. My dad likes to use words like therefore in conversations to make himself sound smart. Hey, Dad, what was y'all being there for your son? My wife thought it'd be hot if I pretended to be her dad. So I got her mom pregnant and left town. It's the only way she can come. They say you can confess to any crime if you started off with when I was a kid. So I'm going to test that out right now. We got any cops in the audience? All right. We're about to find out. When I was a kid, I haven't paid my taxes since 2017. All right. When I was a kid, I drove drunk to get my son to school this morning. One of my cousins died after he failed No Nut in November. Apparently, he left his EpiPen in my car. Rough way to go. If time heals all wounds, how come my son bled out in the waiting room? You guys, are you having fun? Can you do me a favor and shuffle through these cards? And you're gonna make the last joke of the festival. For the guy with the teardrop tattoo, apparently that's what's to indicate how many people you've killed. That's probably why Hitler never got any teardrop tattoos. That'd just be blackface. Alright, two more, and then it's your turn. You're not gonna have to tell me. You're just gonna give me the joke, and I'm gonna tell it. Are we good? Are you mad at me? You guys ready impressions? This is my impression of conservatives. Don't worry, it's fine. Hey, if we've been drilling, where are we gonna get motor oil? Okay, that wasn't bad. That's fine. All right, this is my impression of literals. Hey, if we've been fortunate, where are we gonna get baby oil? That's, everybody knows that's where it comes from. You ready?
Yes.
Wait, which one is the one I'm telling? Jesus H. What were you doing this whole time? I didn't think you were making one joke, alright? And you can't have this. Oh, okay. I don't want to edit this one, so I'm gonna do a different one. But, I'll still tell it. Buddy of mine, oh wait, fuck. I couldn't find my belt this morning, and then I remember that a buddy of mine had borrowed it right before he died from autoerotic asphyxiation. So I guess he had it coming. Alright, but this though. Thank you guys, you've been very nice to me. Not you though, I don't know what's going on with this, but I don't think my dog likes when I try to get him high. I think he might be afraid of needles. Alright, thanks everybody, I'm John Merrifield. I was reading my Bible on the way here, anybody else? You ever wonder why Jesus wouldn't just tell the Romans he wasn't God? What a weird hill to die on.
How are we still doubting if God is real? Look around. There has to be a creative mind behind this.
I hear this a lot, and I get why it feels convincing, but once you look at the logic more closely, it doesn't actually hold up. Saying the world is detailed, so a mind must have designed it, skips a step. Nature produces complexity on its own all the time. Snowflakes, crystals, hurricanes, galaxies, all formed by physical laws, not intention. Patterns aren't proof of a plan. They're often just what happens when matter follows consistent rules. And the something can't come from nothing claim isn't as straightforward as people make it sound. Physics doesn't describe nothing the way we imagine it, and if the idea is that everything needs a cause, then God would need one too. Once you allow anything, even God, to exist without a cause, you've already opened the door to the universe itself to be uncaused. The fruit examples are also just biology. Oranges look pre-cut because humans selectively bred them over centuries. Onions have layers because that's how their cells store nutrients. These features weren't designed with us in mind. We adapted them for our needs. And if we're using design as evidence, we have to look at the whole picture. Nature has beauty, yes, but it also has disease, parasites, and animal suffering in ways that don't serve any meaningful purpose. That makes the intentional design explanation look a lot harder to defend. In the end, pointing to complexity doesn't actually prove a creator. It just means the universe runs on consistent natural processes, and those can explain a lot more than people realize.
Groceries done. DoorDash.
I don't give a fuck anymore how people feel when I don't want to work. I want my life to have as much ease as possible. And I don't fuck how y'all feel about that. I'm tired. My ancestors were tired. They never got what they deserved. As a generation was either sharecroppers, bitch, who my family was work to the bone and promised this, and that. They never fucking got it. And here I am, working, and still not fucking get it. It's always another level. To get to this level now, it's another level. Oh, I need more. Oh, I need more. Oh, I need more. What the fuck do you mean? Tired of this shit. I don't give a fuck anymore how people feel when I tell them I don't want to work. I want my life to have as much ease as possible.
Any some of you guys have seen that video where the dude's going to... See, this right here is where random reg point guards get a bad name. There's only one thing on this troglodyte's mind.
Go there for the way, go.
You see here through the first few possessions, not a single pass on our team. Not a single one. Just check it up. And I swear I saw this guy do the LaMelo point before he shot this. A pass to this guy is an absolute last resort. I mean, if his teammates are shooting, how's he gonna get the points? And I already know what's going through his head.
I'm wide open. I'm gonna let this fly.
Give me that shit. This might be the first intentional pass this game. Now, I'm not saying that he's taking a bunch of bad shots, but I am saying he's the only one taking shots. Look how surprised our teammate was to get this ball. Now, don't mind me. I'm just chilling over here. Let's see what he's doing. Okay, cool. 30 seconds left in the first. I know it felt like I did a whole bunch of nothing this game, and I was right. Man, y'all gotta drop me a follow for dealing with this bullshit. Look how bad he doesn't want to pass the ball. I'm not gonna lie, I got frustrated here, so I called a timeout on him. We finally didn't inbound to the point guard, so somebody else finally got the ball, and I got an open shot. I don't know what got into him here.
Give a Dobby a shock.
Again, I'm just chilling wide open in the middle of the court. What's he doing? Oh, okay, shoot over 2 people. I'm open right there on the wing. Oh no, let's dribble. Oh no, I'm in trouble. You already know once he gets deep bomber, there's no chance of anything else happening. Little man, big boards. Yeah, I get 85 pass tag for a reason. I'm wide open on the wing again. Right there. Well, look, he's not going to pass till he gets in trouble. Yeah, this guy's so starved for a bucket, he's looking for anything. Now he's got 2 people chasing him around the court. And I'm starting to think he's turning it around. I get the inbound at the start of the second half. So I decide to show him what he's supposed to do. I get it. This is a good shot. But what bothers me is there's never even a thought of passing. Give me that. See, look at this. He gets the ball in a fast break. I've got everybody beat to the rim. And what's he decide to do? Pull up. I can't even blame the teammate for what happens here. Everybody is so starved for shots that they just have to put up whatever. Again, the first thought is to shoot and then hit the wide open man in the corner. I'd be lying if I said this didn't make me mad when this bullshit works out. I mean, come on, you dribble the whole shot clock and then get bailed out like this? I mean, y'all get it. I don't have to make this a 10-minute video. Just drop me a follow if you want to hear me complain about more randoms. See this right. Here is where random right point guards get a bad name. There's only one thing on this Rugby-Ducks mind. See here, the first few possessions, not a single pass on our team. Not a single one. Just check it out. And I swear I saw this guy do the LaMelo one before he shot this. The pass to this guy is an absolute point. Not a single one. Just check it out. And I swear I saw this guy do the LaMelo.
I bet he's a god. I have never met someone in my life who is like myself. And of course, someone will go in the comments and be like, yeah, well, that's just ego speaking. And it is partially ego speaking. I'm not going to act like I'm some misunderstood enigma. But someone who shares similar sentiments, someone who shares a worldview, someone who shares a feeling towards the world, the same attitude, everything put together where I can normally consolidate and see this pattern in other people. I've never been able to see the parallel in other people. And I don't know if that's just ego speaking, but I mean, clearly people do not fuck with me, so there is something inherently different about me that other people do not like. But I have never been told what is so different about me in my life that I'm able to verbalize it properly. And maybe it is just autism, I don't know. But does anyone else know what I'm talking about? I have never met.
Man, I'm on a work trip and I just had 3 IPAs and a plate of Korean barbecue nachos. And I'm just overwhelmed by the fact that our past only exists in our minds. And the things that really happened to me are really just as real as fantasies or nightmares. Like, all the friends I made, all the girls I dated, all the adventures I went on, I can't touch them. I can't go back. I can't feel them. They're gone. Like, I'm pretty sure these things are real. I might have pictures in my phone, but I don't have proof. I can't go there. I can't go be with those people and be back in that moment. It's past. It's gone. I can't. Like, I know this is real, but I have zero proof that that's real. There's things I know about myself that kind of form the story of who I am and how I perceive myself, and I believe them to be true, but they're gone. They could very well be figments of my imagination, but they're so central to how I see who I am, but they're so removed from this present moment, and I can never go reach out and grab something from that moment and bring it into the present. Like, some of these things are from so long ago that they could be made up. Like, some things, like when you think about like real, like deep memories when you're like 3 or 4 years old, like those could be dreams because they're so faint in your imagination. Like, it's really just informed. Like, it's one of those things where when people tell you stories about yourself as a kid, you picture what that's like, and then over time you start to conflate that mental image with like an actual real memory. It's like, how many times did that happen? Have friends from like high school told me a story wrong enough times that I just replaced the reality of that event with the story that I've been told. This might not be making any sense, but in summation, I'm just overwhelmed by the fact.
It's how many holes does a straw have?
2.
Is it 2 or is it 1?
It's 2.
How many holes does a donut have?
1 hole.
So isn't a donut just a short straw?
That's too small to climb into that hole. But if I climbed into the hole, I'd go out of a hole to get to the other side, right? But a donut, I'd climb through the donut and I'm out the same hole.
So that yeah, isn't this just one continuous hole to the other side?
It's a tunnel.
But isn't it just one hole? Isn't just one? This is one hole.
Oh, okay. Let me put it to you like this, yeah? You're in court. Excuse me. It says here you put it in multiple holes. No, that's one hole. That's one hole.
That's true. Yeah. So if you get a blow, I go in.
So how many holes is that? Because that hole leads to that hole eventually.
Can you count a blow? Is that sure? How many holes does a straw have?
2.
Is it 2 or is it 1?
You're so mean.
Can you stop?
If you load into the random rig and your fucking point guard is the size of a bodybuilder, you was not getting the ball. He finna slash that bitch all game, and you was not touching the ball. I didn't even give a fuck no more. Watch this. You was not getting that bitch. This 2 straight possessions. I just already knew. I didn't even give a fuck no more. Just look. This is random rig. This is random rig.
You're not a candle. You can't burn out. A human being cannot burn out. I think that that's a misconception about hard work. I don't know successful people who are still in the game who are burnt out by a long day.
Something that's so interesting about a large group of humans is their complete and utter inability to understand that everyone else manages or sees the world the same way they do. Bear with me. I promise I'm going to try to make this metaphor work. Human beings, when we're born, for the most part, It's like a random number generator based on heredity, like in a character creation, right? Everything's 0 to 100, but you have your ranges inside that set. You might be born with an intellect range of 30 to 45. You might be born with a motivation or willpower range of 50 to 80. And those things can move, they can adjust. But not everyone is born with the same capacity to have access to certain things. We are all different. I have seen people work 100-hour weeks for months at a time, and it never negatively affect them. At the same time, I've seen people work 55-hour weeks for 10 weeks in a row and have a full meltdown because they literally can't handle it. And the types of people that will look you in the face and tell you that burnout doesn't exist are the types of people that were quite literally born that this does not negatively affect them like it does other people. And if you have people in your life telling you this, you're going to be hard-pressed to get them to understand it. Because like I said, too many humans cannot comprehend that their lived experience is not the same as everyone else's lived experience. And unfortunately, especially in America, nowhere is this louder than in, sorry to make this political, conservative-leaning white people. Again, where those sliders in terms of your empathy ranges go, one of the tenets of being more wired to be conservative is that you cannot empathize with other people's genuine experience. You believe that your experience is the same as everybody else, which is why you hear conservative things like, well, I've never experienced this, I never did. All of that to say, when people tell you these things, when people say stuff like that, it's because across the board, they genuinely believe it. It's a privilege to be born in a way that you can work and work and work and push and push and push and work 100 hours a week and never have it negatively affect you. Do not feel bad that you cannot do what these people do. Do not let them gaslight you into telling you there's something wrong with you.
You're not a candle. You can't burn out. A human being cannot burn out. I think that that's a misconception about hard work.
If you are not finding older people attractive as you get older, go see a fucking therapist right the fuck now. If you are not increasingly finding younger features less and less attractive as you get older, go see a fucking therapist right the fuck now. I don't care if we've been propagandized to believe that youthful features are more attractive. I don't give a shit about that, because even if you are being propagandized to think and believe those types of things, you still need to do the work of unpacking that shit before you attack children. Look, I know the political ramifications of all this Epstein shit in the news is incredibly important, and we should be considering how all of that stuff is impacting everything. But on the base level of this conversation, there is still the fact that very, very powerful adults were attacking children.
Let me get the fucking double.
And for your drink?
I'll do a Coke.
Large?
Yeah.
Anything else for you today?
Yeah, is there a guy named Mike in there?
No, but you're like the second person to ask about a bike. I don't think it might work here.
I think it's Mike Tack.
I was like, damn, that was it.
Hey, so pull up to the second one or what?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. Let me get the fucking double.
And for your drink?
I'll do a Coke.
Talking to my friend yesterday, and we were discussing this notion that a lot of girls don't want to build with guys, because really often you see guys who are broke build, and a girl will build with them, and then he gets successful and leaves her for like a younger 24-year-old. She stayed and wasted so much time, and now she's older in the dating market, starting back at square one. At first, he didn't really see where I was coming from. His perspective was more like, well, if I don't build with a girl, then I'm not sure that she's going to be with me for anything other than my money when I'm successful. So let me try to explain the female psychology for girls who think like me.
No, keep it to yourself. You're selfish. I hate this topic because y'all act like when you build with a man, you get with him and you're rich and he's broke and you're funding him. And then like he comes up monetarily and then leaves you. That's not what's happening. You're both broke when you get together. That's what's going on. You're both broke when you get together. When I say broke, maybe you're making $35K a year, he's making $35K a year. That's broke in America today. Y'all put that together, y'all making 70. Y'all qualify for a home loan. Y'all are splitting bills. Y'all like life is a lot easier together than it is apart from each other financially. And then the relationship, for whatever reason, why do y'all act like men take all the money when they leave? Both of you are usually, especially if you don't have kids, in the same financial position. And I really hope you don't mean building with a man if you're a stay-at-home wife and he's working and financing everything. We're not even going to act like that's you building with a man. One of y'all will live in a much better life than the other anyway. So if y'all got together and y'all made similar money and you're building with him, meaning paying your fair share, and then you break up and his dating market value or whatever the fuck y'all be talking about is higher than yours because when he gets out of the relationship, he has more money than he had when he entered. But at the end of the day, so do you. The point y'all keep trying to point out is that men with more money have more sexual marketplace value or whatever than a woman the same age, which is true. But that's because women are the ones who value money so much. So if he has more money than he had when y'all got in the relationship together, he's going to be more desirable when y'all get out of the relationship. But that has nothing to do with you. You're just salty. If you're out of the relationship, you're out of the relationship. You see what I'm saying? Like y'all want him to get out of the relationship and be who he was before y'all got together. But you still got what you got too. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Talking to my girlfriend yesterday, and we were discussing this notion that a lot of girls don't want to build with guys because really often you see guys who are broke build, and the girl will.
Head to the party. I don't want to waste no time.
is now higher among young women than young men, or the fact that women are now outpacing men in education from that. Degrees, 80s, 70s, all of a sudden, that's no longer discrimination. That's just individual people. I mentioned it in a previous video, and I'll mention it again. But cognitive dissonance is palpable. And even then, gender is not necessarily the reason why this 1 cent difference exists. It could be for a myriad of other factors that weren't controlled. Now, a really common counter-argument to this is, why do you think women's professions are typically paid less? To which I say, I agree. It's an issue that has to do with patriarchy. But inequality in the sense of a social justice model is significantly different from inequality in the sense of systemic discrimination. At the end of the day, people are responsible for their own decisions, which is why if you go into a profession like teaching, which pays less, you're doing so knowing that it pays you less. In the same vein that a man going into a profession like construction knows that this is a more dangerous job, and therefore there's a higher risk to their life in doing so. Which is why, despite the fact that men go into more dangerous professions more often, you don't hear myself or other men screaming from the rooftops this is some magical reason for us to be compensated more in relationships. Which brings me to point number 4. Becca's entire argument relies on this false premise that individual people in relationships are responsible for remediating issues that exist at systemic and societal levels. A relationship is not a personal affirmative action plan. It's a partnership. And individual people's struggles are not always defined by generalities that exist in society. And frankly, just putting these 4 arguments aside for a second, I want you to take Becca Bloom's worldview to its endpoint. A world where only the men who are capable of sustaining a family on a single income is not a world that can exist any longer, right? The dollar doesn't go as far as it used to 50 years ago, 20 years ago. It's simply not possible anymore. The reason why people like Becca Bloom, Shara Seven, The Wizard List, the reason why they push this provider mentality, masculine energy, red pill content, that's what it is, red pill content, onto young women, is because they know that their idea is a systemic impossibility. They fundamentally profit off of having a base of women who are dissatisfied with the relationships that they have, which is why they constantly shift the goalposts of what it means for a man to be the bare minimum. And it's even more sinister when it comes to people like Becca Bloom, who are literal oligarchs, because they directly benefit from the idea of having fragmented family units who are unable to have productive lives for themselves and retain capital for their own prosperity.
Hey,
Here's what men don't understand.
swear that 90% of feminists suffer from some level of cognitive dissonance, because tell me why, when the conversation shifts from the patriarchal norms that apply to women to those that apply to men, all of a sudden the feminism just evaporates from their bodies. And you can tell it's I call this kind of content sloth. I swear that 90% of feminists suffer from some level of cognitive dissonance. Tell me why, when the conversation shifts from patriarchal norms that apply to women to those that apply to men, all of a sudden the feminism just evaporates from their bodies. And you can tell it's cognitive dissonance because the second the check hits the table, they start to get real creative with the way they justify these norms. Oh, the women spend so much money on makeup and their clothes and perfumes. Okay, so if a man did all those things, if he wore makeup, if he wore designer clothes, are you still getting paid for the day? No, right? So the argument actually has nothing to do with that. And also, wasn't the latter half of the last decade spent saying that women don't do those things for men, they don't dress for men, they don't wear makeup for men? What happened to the argument? Or does it just, again, evaporate once the check hits the table? Oh, but I deserve to be compensated for the additional risk and danger of going out with a man. All right, fair point, right? Men are dangerous, right? Anyone who has female friends knows that they've had weird experiences with men. But in the case of dating, right, you're going to a public location, ostensibly a restaurant. This is a person you vetted for their education, for their income, for whether or not they have friends, for whether or not they seem like a sociopath. You've probably fit. I call this kind of content slop feminism because it's actually not feminism at all. Slop feminism is content that co-opts the aesthetics of intellectualism, the vibe of feminism, and is typically peddled by white women ranging from teenagers to middle-aged women who feel as though their specific qualms with specific men are actually systemic meditations on the state of patriarchy and the state of manhood. In reality, this kind of content is intellectually lazy and harmful to feminist movements because it requires no critical thought. You don't have to produce any evidence whatsoever. All you really have to do is come up with some rage-bait representation of a milquetoast idea that's been peddled in internet feminist spaces since the dawn of time, and then, of course, whatever echo chamber on TikTok will find it and reaffirm whatever you have to say. And just in case you think I'm being too harsh, let's actually hear out this woman's argument.
These men, by disagreeing with us for shits and giggles, are dialectically raping us.
Being as charitable as I can, this woman's central argument is that men wage arguments in relationships for the sole purpose of being the devil's advocate. And this to her is a form of psychological abuse, or as she calls it, dialectical rape, because the woman has not consented to this argument. Now, before I insert my personal opinions into this, let's look at the facts. I wasn't able to find research on which gender tends to play the contrarian or devil's advocate role more often in relationships. However, this meta-analysis that aggregates results from 20 studies on verbal aggression in relationships shows that women tend to display more verbal aggression in relationships, despite levels being high among both women and men. Moreover, there's a well-known withdraw demand pattern that's identified by researchers in this area, where the woman tends to bring up criticism and levy criticism against the man, and the man tends to withdraw from the problem and withdraw from those interactions. Which is why you so often hear the phrase, happy wife, happy life. The predominant social conditioning and experience of men is that it's often more beneficial to avoid an argument altogether with a partner in a relationship than it is to actually confront that problem, because their experience has shown them time and time again that even if they're right in that argument, even if they're able to convey that they're right in that argument, that still ends up with them losing. Not only is there no evidence to suggest that men play the devil's advocate more often in relationships, but the predominant evidence in this field shows that unconsensual argumentation typically flows from women to men, not the other way around. And as unhinged and out of touch with reality as this video is, the comments are frankly worse. It's not woke to be wrong and to believe something just because it fits into your man, bad, woman, good narrative. It's just anti-intellectual. It's lazy. They don't talk to their male friends the same way. They automatically believe them or give them the benefit of the doubt. When again, there's no research to suggest that this is the case. Echo chambers on TikTok are incredibly dangerous because they reify biases, and they make you feel as though a bunch of anecdotes in a comment section can replace empirical research. People see content that they're likely to already engage or agree with. And your job as a viewer is to critically evaluate claims for their truth, not for how well you think they might fit into your worldview. I call this kind of content slop feminism because it's actually not feminism at all. Slop feminism is content that co-opts the aesthetics of intellectualism, the vibe of feminism, and this is an obviously beautiful man, right? Look at that smile, look at those dimples. But I think beyond the aesthetics of his campaign, beyond his ability to be a relatable politician, and college is a scam was an interesting hill for Charlie Kirk to die on because the majority of his fan base is young, impressionable men. I personally believe that if you want to truly understand someone's intentions, if you want to understand if someone's coming from a place of good faith, all you have to do is listen for long enough. So before I answer the question of whether or not Charlie Kirk had the best interests of his young, impressionable male fan base at heart, I'm going to take you through a couple of statistics that pertain to this demographic. For the first time in American history, women now outpace men in bachelor's degrees, law degrees, nearly every non-STEM PhD, MDs, which are medical degrees, and now they almost outpace men in MD PhDs. Bear with me, we're almost done. Unemployment is now higher among young men than it is among young women. And finally, in a number of U.S. metropolises, the gender wage gap is actually reversed in favor of young women. Needless to say, we are already having an epidemic of undereducated, anti-intellectual men who are heavily indexed towards STEM fields that are now oversaturated. Now, keeping these statistics in mind, as you watch the following Charlie Kirk clips, I want you to ask yourself, does this seem like the kind of person who has the best interests of his audience at heart? In other words, is Charlie Kirk the kind of person who, when presented with compelling evidence, will actually bargain with it for a while? Or is he immediately dismissive? Is he shifting the goalposts? Is he appealing to anecdotal evidence? The latter might make Charlie Kirk an opportunistic debater, but it doesn't make him a good person.
I'm just curious about your stance on college scam, because I feel like, according to the Hamilton Institute, people who get bachelor degrees over a total lifetime earnings earn of over $1 million more than those who don't.
What are you studying? Can I ask?
Economics.
Okay, so what do you think of Thomas Sowell?
I actually really like him. I bought his book, Basic Economics. He's one of the first economists.
Do they teach it here?
Not yet, but also...
Okay, so now you're proving my point. If you're studying economics and they're not teaching Thomas Sowell, you're not getting an education, you're getting an indoctrination.
Now, I'm sure you've already caught it here because it's so brazenly unashamed, but I want you to pay attention to two things. The first is the red herring. When presented with a statistic on the economic benefit of a college degree, Charlie Kirk completely ignores it and then switches the topic to speaking about Thomas Sowell and specific economic theoreticians. There are honestly so many logical issues with this clip, but this next part needs to be said. I'm currently a senior studying economics at a top program. Charlie Kirk is intentionally misunderstanding the function of an economics degree and what it aims to teach. In most universities, the economics degree is geared towards classical economics and mathematical modeling. This includes topics like utility maximization, game theory, econometrics. An economics degree is not focused on the history of economic thought, and no college is claiming that it is aimed towards that. The political economy degree is what's actually geared towards learning about thinkers like Milton Friedman and Thomas Sowell. And even if you're currently pursuing an economics degree, no one is stopping you from pursuing a poly-econ minor. No one's stopping you from taking a course on these thinkers. And I promise you at least a course on this will exist in most colleges. Now, the second thing I wanted you to pay attention to is important for this next clip. Charlie Kirk has implicitly defined a scam degree as one that does not teach something that he thinks it ought to. Pay attention to how slickly he shifts the goalposts in this next clip.
There was a study that just came out in the last day, the 16 lowest paying job majors, and the vast majority of those are actually what kids study in college, right? Communications, liberal arts, things of that nature. And so the question is, why even go to college at all if you're just basically getting a credential that is worth less and less money in the marketplace?
A political economy degree is a liberal arts degree. A history degree is a liberal arts degree. So let me just get this straight, right? If you go to college and you study political economy and you learn about thinkers like Thomas Sowell and Milton Friedman, you're getting scammed because you're not making the ROI on that Charlie Kirk thinks you have to. But if you go to college to study economics and you don't learn about Milton Friedman, you don't learn about Thomas Sowell, you're still getting scammed because you're not learning about those theoreticians. This is an argumentative tactic called shifting the goalpost. You can't win an argument against someone when they change the definition of what it means to win. And that's the point. Charlie Kirk doesn't care about the truth. He cares about winning. And if he has to lie, if he has to go through fallacious lines of reasoning to achieve his goal, he'll do it. He'll do it at the expense of his audience. Now, I know this video is getting long, so there's going to be a part 2 to it. If you're interested in that, make sure to follow along. College as a Scam was an interesting hill for Charlie Kirk to die on because the majority of his fan base is young, impressionable men. I'm personally of the belief that if you want to truly understand someone's intentions, if you want to understand if someone's coming from a place of good faith, all you have to do is listen for long enough. There's probably an